Hello and welcome, my name is Kyle FtW and welcome back to another Black Ops Cold War video. Today, we are back with another best class setup, and today, we're taking a look at the brand new LMG that came out with Season 4, the M82 LMG. This LMG is a bit of an interesting weapon. It's basically the remake of the MLA from previous Call of Duty games. The MLA was in both Call of Duty Ghosts as well as Advanced Warfare, and is a interesting weapon in this game. It's honestly not that bad, especially with this class that I have here. The gameplay in the background is a Yamato domination game that we do pretty well with it. So I should come off by saying that this gameplay that you guys are seeing is a rare gameplay. I think when I look at my KD with the M82 or MG-82, I have a 1.94 KD with this weapon, or my eliminated death ratio is a 1.94, which is pretty good. So that means it's not a bad LMG, and in fact it's actually a pretty fun LMG, and I really enjoy using this. This class is focused more around rushing, but keep in mind as well that you guys do have to stay back with this weapon. This weapon is not made for sprinting rushing, going absolutely crazy, running through every building, being like a madman. You have to stay back with this class, but you can rush with it with these attachments. So starting off here, just right off the bat with the attachments, or with the Wildcard, because that will help us kind of clarify the attachments a little bit. I've actually gone for the Gunfighter Wildcard, which is the first time I've done this with the best class setup video. But actually, when I've started to make classes with ARs as well as LMGs, and maybe even tactical rifles, I don't know, I really haven't made a tactical rifle best class or created a best class, but I've been using Gunfighter a lot with my assault rifles. So I thought I would decide to use it on an LMG by adding those 3 additional attachments. So what it does is it gives you the ability to use all attachment slots at your disposal. So I can put an optic, a muzzle, a barrel, a body, an underbarrel, a magazine, a handle, and a stock. And with this class, I have all 8 attachment slots filled. So starting off here with my very first attachment, I have the mill stop reflex sight. Now, out of all the sights within the game on the list that you guys can see when you look at the weapon, the mill stop reflex sight is, in my opinion, one of the better sights. The Silex Hollow Scout is a pretty good sight. The Quick Dot LED is a pretty good sight, as well as the Hawksmoor. But the mill stop reflex sight is one that I can definitely see more people using, and definitely can see it being a lot more practical than the other sights. I've gone for a sight on this class mostly because I have the option to put a sight on this weapon, but also when you're shooting from the iron sights aren't terrible, but what really hurts the iron sights is that there is a ton of muzzle flash if you're not either way, even with the silencer, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I just prefer to have a sight on this weapon, mostly because I am going to be staying a little bit further back with this weapon, so iron sights aren't as necessary. For my next attachment, I have gone for the Agency Suppressor, which improves our muzzle flash concealment by 100% and improves our vertical recoil control by 12% at the cost of effective damage range and bullet velocity. Now, this is a very good attachment for the simple reason that you're going to stay off the radar, number 1, and number 2, you're going to have vertical recoil control without any cost to your horizontal recoil control, which is really awesome. The damage range and the bullet velocity are countered here in a little bit, which I'll talk about soon, so no really effect with those negatives there. Simply enough, the reason I've used this suppressor, not the SOCOM Eliminator, which is one of my more favorite attachments, or the infantry compensator and stuff like that, is that I like that it doesn't hurt any of the other recoil controls, and I just like having a silenced weapon with this LMG, which is weird because LMGs do normally stay back, so a silencer isn't as necessary. But when I'm rushing with this class, the silencer feels really good, and the vertical recoil control is awesome and really helps a lot with this weapon, because it does have a lot of recoil because it has such a high fire rate. For my barrel, I've gone for the 16-point task force barrel, which improves our damage by 10, improves our effective damage range by 100%, and improves our bullet velocity by 38%. Basically, what this attachment does is it just completely got rid of the negatives of the suppressor instantaneously. This barrel is just amazing on LMGs, because the only negatives to this barrel are that it decreases the magazine ammo capacity, decreases the starting ammo, and decreases the ammo capacity, which literally means nothing with this LMG because it has so much ammo to begin with. So basically, this attachment is a no-brainer and is absolutely amazing. This LMG kills really fast with this attachment. Obviously, again, as I said, it negates all of the negatives from the other barrel, and overall, it's just a great attachment for the LMG. Next, for the body, I've gone for the steady aim laser. Simply enough, if I get caught in a situation where I just got in a bad situation. I was not ready. I wasn't keeping my sights up. I can just hip fire the enemies, and this hip fire really works because it has no cons to it. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Get in a bad situation, can hip fire if necessary. I don't know if there's a hip fire kill in the gameplay, but if you do need to hip fire, then this is a great attachment for it. There are better attachments for this, but a lot of them have negatives. This one has no negatives at all, so that's why I've gone for the steady aim laser. Next, for my grip, I've gone for the SFOD speed grip, which improves our sprinting movement speed and improves our horizontal recoil control at the cost of movement speed, shooting movement speed, aim walking movement speed. So once again, this is an LMG, so you're going to be a little bit slower with it, and this is where the rushing part of this class comes in. I prefer usually to use the bruiser grip, which improves everything by 3%, but the speed grip feels really, really nice on this class, especially because now, with some of the other attachments that we've had with this class, I now have improved vertical recoil control and improved horizontal recoil control with no negatives to my recoil control, if that makes any sense. Therefore, this weapon has basically no recoil, and it is awesome. It is such a fun class, and the sprinting movement speed is useful because, again, as I said, this is a more rushing oriented class with this LMG, so having that improved sprinting movement speed is definitely very helpful and can get you places a lot quicker because, again, LMGs do have a slower movement speed. The decreases, you can I don't really notice that much. Maybe it's because I'm so used to this class that I don't really notice stuff like that, but again, the negatives don't really seem like much, especially because the sprinting movement speed is so high, and that's what I honestly do a lot when I play this game. For my next attachment, I've gone for the fast mags, which improves my reload quickness by 25%. The Vandal speed loader just has way too many negatives to it, and with how much ammo this weapon has, using an extended mags really doesn't mean a whole lot and doesn't really benefit you that much. So that's why I've gone for the fast mags, because it has such a high ammo capacity, 100 starting, and then with the barrel we have 93. Honestly, just having that fast mags is useful because you're not going to really burn through ammo too fast with this weapon, in all honesty, but if you are spraying, which is what this LMG is kind of the best with, you're going to need to be able to reload fast. It's just really, really useful to have that attachment, simply enough. Next, for my wrap, I've gone for the Serpent wrap, which improves our aim down sight time by 25% at the cost of 10 to sprint to fire time. Again, this is an LMG, so I want to be able to get those sights up quickly, not have to worry about being super slow, because again, LMGs have the slowest aim down sight speed in the game, I believe. So having that improved by 25% is definitely a huge deal, and I can definitely notice it, especially if I get into a bad situation. I originally went to the airborne elastic wrap, but I really didn't like that attachment that much. It's a really good attachment, but the negatives I just felt too strongly. And yeah, the Serpent wrap is overall just really good, especially if you get caught in a bad situation. You can aim down sights a little bit quicker, probably getting to bat an AR normal speed. So again, do I recommend ever getting into a situation like that? No, but anything that improves the speed of this LMG is something that I'm always going to go for, because as you guys know, I like rushing with every single weapon that I have in the game. I don't like being limited, I don't like being forced to camp, and therefore with this aim down sight speed attachment, I don't have to camp at all, which is pretty darn awesome. And then last but not least, for my final attachment with this class, I've gone for the SAS combat stock, which improves our shooting movement speed by 10%, as well as improves our aim walking movement speed by 75% at the cost of 15% to hipfire accuracy. Now again, the Raider stock is probably one of the better attachments in the game with that improved sprint to fire time and aim walking movement speed, but I did use the Raider stock as well when I was testing out this class, trying to come up with a better class, and the SAS combat stock just felt a lot better. That shooting movement speed negates the cost of the grip, so now we're shooting faster while moving as well as sprinting faster while moving, which is awesome, which again helps with our with this rushing class, as well as that 75% improved aim walking movement speed. That is awesome because again, you can just be kind of strafing from left to right while staying in sights, which is super important, and therefore you're not super slow and sluggish while you're aiming down sights, because again, when I'm using this weapon, I am pretty much keeping my sights up around every corner, because if I don't do that, I'm going to get caught I'm going to get caught between aiming down my sights, and it's just not going to work out so well. So that's why I've gone for the SAS combat stock. So those are all the attachments for this class. They are very good. They work really well together, and I overall really like this class. It's pretty good. I think the worst game I've gotten with this is just below a 2 KD, and then my best game has actually been a nuke. I got a nuke within within the cranked hardpoint mode, which was just crazy. I don't know if that gameplay will be shown here, but because it's not really showing the class very well because you get so many perk bonuses. But I did get a nuke with this class, and it's pretty darn solid, so definitely like the attachments on this. For my secondary, this is definitely up to you, but I've personally gone for the nail gun. The nail gun is my favorite secondary in the game at the moment. I just really like it. It's really fun to use, but it also can be very useful in certain situations. For example, if I am in very close range, I usually pull out my nail gun instead of using my LMG, so that I can prepare for enemies to get closer, and then I can take them out with the nail gun, which is amazing from close up. In fact, it's probably the best weapon in the game from close up. It's just really strong overall. And yeah, I just really like the nail gun as my secondary. Of course, you can use a shotgun, you can use a pistol if you want, but I've just gone for the nail gun because I think it's just really fun. For my lethal and tactical and my field upgrade, these haven't changed from my last best class setup video, but I've gone for the stim shot, the frag, and the field mic. Stim shot, once again, I just have gotten so used to manually healing in Call of Duty that that's just what I prefer to do, is just manually heal. I mean, it's just a very useful attachment, especially when I'm rushing with this LMG class. Having stim shot means I can heal myself, I don't have to worry about dying, and it's just overall pretty darn useful. For my lethal, I've gone for the frag because the frag simply is just a great lethal equipment. It has higher damage than the Semtex, and you can cook it, which means you can throw it on an objective and make sure it detonates right on that objective. And overall, I just like the frag because it does more damage than the Semtex. The Semtex was my most used equipment earlier in the game's life cycle, but now that I have once I switched to the frag, I didn't really go back. I just love how much damage the frag does, and yeah, pretty darn good attachment. And then the field upgrade is the field mic. This can be pretty much whatever you want. I just like the field mic. I don't really place these down too much, but when I do, it's just kind of nice to have, and kind of, you know, just it's good to just have the field mic and know where enemies are coming from. And then last but not least, for my perks, so because I'm not using the perk greed Wildcard, we only have 3 perks. So for the perks, for the perk 1, I've gone for Flak Jacket. Simple enough. I don't like dying by explosives. They're just annoying. Unfortunately, I don't have Tac Mask either, so I will be getting affected by stuns and flashes and all that stuff. But luckily, I don't run into many of those. And when I do, they're usually pretty easy to counter. But yeah, Flak Jacket, just don't like dying by explosives and stuff. It's annoying. And because people do use a lot more Semtexes and stuff, definitely worth it to me. For my second perk, I've gone for Scavenger. Scavenger, I wouldn't say is as useful with this weapon as other perks, or isn't as necessary, I should say. But the reason that I've gone for Scavenger, simply enough, is that I don't really know of any perk that's better than Scavenger. I mean, Assassin is really good, but because we only have 93 and 93, if you're going on a big kill streak, you will run out of ammo. So just Scavenger, just to have it, as well as it helps the nail gun as well. So Scavenger is my perk 2. And then last but not least, for my perk 3, I've gone for Ninja. Simply enough, I don't like being heard. The footsteps are really loud in Black Ops Cold War if you don't have Ninja. I mean, Ghost is a great perk, obviously. Spycraft is a great perk as well. But because I don't have perk greed, I've settled for Ninja, just so that I am not heard. I'm not being heard from a mile away, because that definitely is a concern for sure. The footsteps in this game are just so loud. When there's people not wearing Ninja or using Ninja, I can just hear them from a mile away. And that is absolutely everything for this class. It is a pretty solid class. I would say that it's not the greatest class. Again, LMGs are hard to use in this game to a degree, but I tried to make this class a rushing class so that if the best class setup that I did make wasn't a camping class where people are just going to sit back in the back of the map, just aiming down sights, waiting for people to walk by. Obviously, you're going to do that with this LMG because it is an LMG. It's slower than assault rifles. It's slower than SMGs. In fact, it's the slowest weapon class in the game. So you're going to have to be staying back a little bit, but this class will allow you to rush, and in my opinion, is a pretty darn solid class. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for another episode of Best Class Setups here within Black Ops Cold War. I will be covering the C58 probably in the next couple of weeks, because again, it takes me a little bit to get the best class setup video. I do a lot of testing. I do 5 games with this class to see if it's a good class, and then I will make the best class setup video. So it does take a while to make these best class setup videos. That's why there's been so few and far between, and they also do take a long time to edit and everything like that as well. But anyway, guys, if you guys did enjoy this video and you do like this class, did try it out and it is good, let me know down below in the comments. I'd be very interested in hearing that. But again, I will be covering the C58 next, but if you guys want to see any other LMG or any other weapon that you want to see in the special class setup video, I'd be happy to do that. Maybe after the C58, I'll go back and do maybe a base weapon like the Krig or the XM4, something like that. Again, just let me know, and I will definitely do that for you guys. But anyway, guys, I'll see you guys all on another Black Ops Cold War video very, very soon.